web application penetration testing. Before we can start talking about that, we need to understand what is a website. And just like I said before, a website is just an application installed on a computer. That computer probably just has better specs than your computer, but fundamentally it works exactly just like another computer. So it has an operating system, and it also has a number of applications to allow it to act as a web server. So the main two applications that it probably has is a web server and a database. A web server is like Apache, and a database is like MySQL. And these are the web server basically understands and executes the web application. So your web application would be written in PHP or Python and any programming language really. The only thing is that the web server needs to be able to understand and execute this web application. The database contains the data used by the web application. So all of this is stored on a computer called the server. The computer is connected to the internet, and it has a real IP address, so anybody can access that computer and can ping it. So the web application is executed by the web server, which is installed on your server, on your target. Therefore, anytime you request a page or you run the web application, it's actually executed on the web server, and it's not executed at the client's computer. It gets executed at the web server, and then it sends a HTML page which is ready to read for the target person or for the clients. So let's have a look on an example. And let's say you're on a phone or on your computer and you wanted to go to facebook.com. So you type in facebook.com into your URL. This will be translated using a DNS server to an IP address. So there is a server that translates every name, .com, .edu, or any website with a name, with a domain name, so this is a domain name, to its relevant IP address. So you request facebook.com, the request goes to a DNS server, it translates facebook.com to the IP where Facebook is stored, and then it'll go to Facebook, to the IP address of Facebook, it'll execute the page that you wanted using all of the applications that we spoke about, and then just give you ready HTML. So what you get back is just a markup written in HTML, which is a markup language of the result of executing the program. So the program gets executed on the server, and then you just only get the result. This is very important because in the future, if we wanted to get anything executed on the web server, if we wanted to get a shell, a reverse shell, or a virus executed on the target computer, then we need to send it into a language that the web server understands. So for example, PHP. And once you execute it there, it will be executed on that computer, not on your computer. So regardless of the person that accesses the page, the web shell that you're gonna send, if it's written in PHP in a language that the server understands, is gonna be executed on the server and not on your computer. Therefore, it'll give you access to the server and not access to the person who accessed that server. JavaScript, on the other hand, there is some websites use JavaScript, and JavaScript is a client-side language. So if you manage to find a website that allows you to run JavaScript code, then the code will be executed by the clients. So even though the code might be injected into the web server, it will be executed on the client side, and it'll allow you to do things to the client computer and not to the server. So it's very important to separate between a client-side language and a server-side language.